Planet Astra is a virtual reality game where the player is a traveler who has crash-landed on a foreign planet. Upon starting the game, the player is first greeted by a voice and finds themselves inside a darkly lit cave. They are first prompted by the voice to explore and find missing fragments on the planet that were left behind by the people of Astra.
Hello, traveler. I'm glad you've awakened. You have arrived on planet Astra. The planet has been abandoned for years, the cause unknown. However, the people of Astra appear to have left behind fragments of what was once the planet for travelers like yourself to explore and collect. Astra will not be forgotten.
The player must then pay attention to visual cues inside the cave, such as a bar at the base of a crater and the UI in the top right corner of their eye view. Once the player has looked around the cavern, they must navigate out of the cave and catch stars outside, where they are given fragments of information as they explore different areas in the environment. Once they've collected 10 stars, they are prompted by the foreign voice to go back to the cave, as there seems to be a new presence inside. Upon re-entering, the player notices a floating orb in front of the crater. The player is then compelled to touch the orb, and when this occurs, they notice the bar at the bottom of the crater slowly fill up. Lastly, the player hears a familiar voice, which then begins to piece the storyline together and prompts the player to look up. At this moment, the player notices the ceiling of the cave has been illuminated, and golden stars adorning the top are now visible. Planet Astra is an exploration-based virtual reality game. The purpose of the game was to create a relaxing, immersive experience that could provide an exercise for the upper body. The core features of the game then become the torch, stars, mushrooms, and the narrator. The torch is the first thing the player sees in the cave, and due to the dim lighting inside, they are compelled to pick it up. The stars found outside of the cave are similar to the torch in that they are seen floating and emitting light, much like the torch does in the beginning. This connection informs the players that the stars are also interactive. The mushrooms are used to propel players outside of the cave, and then when the time comes, they serve as a marker in the darkly lit environment to show where the cave is. Lastly, the narrator serves as a guide and provides context of the planet to the player. It becomes the last source of feedback and reward the player has as they complete the game's objective.